that most people believe is scaling means I'm growing my business. Scaling means I'm throwing more money at it. Scaling means doing more than what I'm currently doing, and that is the furthest thing from the truth. When you're scaling versus growing is I'm just doing more than what I'm doing right now. Scaling is more about efficiency, right? Because you could grow something, but you just growing more chaos. Right? Think about it like this. Let's say you said you want to get more clients, right? And well, you can get more clients, but if the processes that you have to serve them, if the process that you're using to be able to build it is not efficient, you're basically just growing a bigger headache. Does that make sense? So that's growing, is that you're just doing more of what you're doing right now. Scaling is doing it with efficiency. So if I'm working with a company and they want to scale their ad spend, I'm only going to recommend it if I'm consulting them, or I'm only going to scale their ads if I'm running it, if we're going to get a better return than we're currently getting right now. Does that make sense? So I can scale. So if for example, I got a client who got 1,000% ROI her very first week, right? Which means that she had 10x result. So what that means is if she has a 10x result now, that means that the more money that she puts in, it'll be a bigger outsized return, right? It doesn't grow proportionally. It grows exponentially. That's what you want. You want exponential growth. You don't want what we call linear growth. See, there's a difference between linear growth and exponential. So that's the difference. And so today what I'm going to share with you is how do you actually scale your business exponentially without growing the overhead, without growing the cost, without growing the headache, and without growing the management of it, but growing it, but scaling it at a much higher rate. The reason this actually came to mind was I was thinking about when I first really started getting some success in my business. Specifically when I said, okay, I know how to help people, I know how to coach, I have a good feel on this. However, I need to be able to grow my marketing and my advertising so I can grow my clientele, which makes a lot of sense, right? So what that looks like is I decided that I wanted to let me just throw some more money at it, right? I got a couple dollars that I'm gonna spend, so let me just throw some more money at it. But the problem is it grew my headache. And I'm like, man, well, why isn't this working? Or when I was running advertisements and I'm like, okay, well, it looks like I'm getting some leads. All right, I'm loving it. I started to put more money into it, but I'm like, man, I'm still feeling like it still seems like I'm breaking even. Like I was kind of breaking even. Let's say if you look at, I would look at my numbers for the month and I would say, okay, well, based on the clients that I got and based on the money that I spent, I'm like, man, I'm kind of really breaking even. And I said, well, maybe if I spend more money, that'll resolve it, right? So I don't remember what I was spending exactly at the time, but let's just say I was spending about, $20 a day. And then I said, okay, well, let me spend $50 a day on advertisements. It literally, it grew linear in a linear fashion. It grew in a linear fashion to where I'm making more money now, but I'm also spending more money. And I started thinking like, well, how do I actually build this? And this is when I learned the difference between growing and scaling. It was a lot of years that I was really just growing my business, but I wasn't really scaling the business. So that's the place that you want to be. So in order to do that, that means let's look at it from a marketing and advertising perspective. You can apply this to any area of your business, but I'm heavily focused on the marketing and advertising, right? So I'm going to share with you from that perspective. So to grow, you really have to, one, pay attention to your metrics, or to scale, you have to pay attention to your metrics. You don't ever want to scale something. You don't ever want to like put more money into something if you don't have the number, you don't know the numbers that you're paying attention to. When I started feeling comfortable scaling, or when I actually started scaling, when I said, okay, me spending more money is actually going to get me a better result, not the same result proportionally, right? So you got to look at your metrics. Pay attention to what are you paying cost per lead? What are you paying in terms of, what they call CPA, which is a cost per acquisition. That means that the amount of money that you spent this week or the amount of money that you spent this month versus the amount of clients that you got, how much did it actually cost for you to get a client, right? So you need to know that. You need to be able to pay attention to that. You need to be looking at what your ROI is. You need to be looking at what they call your ROAS, which is your ROAS, which is your return on ad spend, right? You need to know what these numbers are, and you need to be paying attention to them, because that's gonna make a big difference, right? What is your conversion percentages on your landing page? So when you have a good understanding of this, now you're paying attention to see, okay, this is a good time to scale. Oh, hold on, wait. I'm actually not even profitable on this campaign, so why would I spend more money if it's not even profitable? You know what I'm saying? So you really have to pay attention to the metrics. 2, you really got to focus on testing. A lot of times we don't really know what's working or what's not working with our marketing or advertising because we're not testing enough. There's nobody, I don't care who you talk to, there's nobody that can tell you which one of your ads is guaranteed to work. Why? Because I can't tell you, nobody else can tell you, because your market is are going to be the people that's going to respond to that. Right now, if I'm coaching you or we running it for you, I can say, look, this is the play we're going to do. We're gonna test. We're gonna be testing these headlines. We're gonna be testing these creative images. We're gonna be testing these videos. I need you to get a testimonial video. I want you to test an authority video of you teaching. Show me something with you on stage. You know, we're gonna do a compilation with all of the different clients that you have and case studies. Boom. We're gonna take screenshots of people that you've helped and they've said nice things about you. Right? I'm gonna say something similar to you about that when we start working together. So then you're going to come to me with this content, and then I'm going to say, great, let's put together your ad. Let's put together your landing page. Let's put together the, your targeting settings and everything. All right, cool. Let's run it. Let's test it. Let's see what wins, and let's keep doing that. And what's going to happen is I got some folks that usually, knock on wood, usually, folks get a phenomenal return their first week. That isn't always like that. Maybe we just got a good batter percentage. I know we're very good at what we do. So, I just had a client yesterday. I had a meeting with him, and he's received he got a 70. This is like record breaking. He got a 70% conversion rate his first week. 70% conversion rate, meaning that out of 100, think about it like this: if 100 people looked at his ad and went to his landing page, 70 out of 100 opted in and got the information and said, I wanted to get the resource that you're giving. 70%. That's huge returns, right? His first week. What's going to be like week 4, month 4, year 4? I've been in this game for 9 years, 9 going on 10 years, specifically in our industry, coaching, speaking as an expert. And I've been running ads for probably, I want to say maybe about 5 years, 6 years I've been running ads, right? So imagine what it's going to look like year 4, right? So year 10, you know what I mean? So this is what makes a difference. So you really got to be focused on what does your testing process actually look like to be able to grow and be able to scale. And then the third thing is, do you have the resources? You really want to scale, you got to make sure that you have the resources to scale. If you want to scale, you come to me and you say, yo, Coach T, yo, things are going great. I got a couple clients under my belt. I'm going to say, great, let's scale it. You're going to say, great, let's do it. I'm going to say, great, that's going to be an extra $500 on your ads budget per month. Great, that's going to be an extra $1,000 a month on your ads budget. If you come back to me and say, wait, hold on, I can't really, I got to work it out. I got to look at the numbers. I got to see. Then although it's working, whatever money that you're getting from your clients, you're using it on other things because you can't reinvest it back into your business. So you got to have the means to be able to scale. You got to have the means to be able to reinvest, right? So you got to have the finances to do it. If you're scaling your ads literally means that you're spending more money. But if every dollar you get, I got to spend it on this, I got rent, I got to do this, I got to do that. And now you coming back to me saying, I want to grow, but you don't really have anything to be able to use to be able to grow. What am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to be, right? I'm here, I'm running your ads, but There's only but so much I can do if you don't have the financial means to do average, most of our folks, they're probably spending anywhere between $30 to $50 a day, right? Which, which is a few $1,000s a month, right? So either way, there's no right or wrong to do it. It's just all about knowing when's the right time to level up and scale up, and then make sure that you have the means to do so in this case. And then the fourth thing I would give you when you really want to scale is you gotta have the fulfillment processes, or you want to at least start having the fulfillment processes in place. So you might say, you know what, I can take about 20 clients myself, but after that, I got to start looking at hiring coaches, which we can help you do. Bring on coaches, hiring other people to really help me with this process. So you want to look at what your personal capacity is, and then we're going to say, okay, well, what additional resources is necessary to be able to grow and be able to scale?